Do you think this was he decided to stay at Atletico, or he was using Barcelona to get personal gain? I think that's the question. What's your opinion?
It's the latter, bro. It's the personal gain. Because I don't think Barcelona was going to give him double the salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if both teams are offering you the same pay, why not go for Barcelona, which is a higher status,
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the chance to win La Liga and Champions League is them.
Hello everybody, welcome to another episode of the Football Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Podcast Network. I am your host Elder, and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro, Paul. Paul, how you doing, bro?
I'm doing well, bro. Monday has been a bit hectic. How about you?
I rested. I was off today.
Okay. Bro, that's the best. Off days on Mondays are the best.
It's true because I find that, I don't know why, because you're so used to Saturday, Sundays, right, that having a Monday off just feels quite nice.
Bro, Monday off compared to Friday off, right? Monday is 10 times better off than Friday off.
Okay, but considering I do have to work on Saturday. But somehow, right, like I don't know why, but because normal work, right, is always Monday to Friday one, ma. Then most of us is Saturday, Sunday off, right? I don't know why, right, but Sunday and Monday off actually feels nice.
Bro, I will always take a Monday off, man. Nevertheless, because you know why not? You take Monday off, you have a slower start to your day. By the time you go back to work, it's Tuesday already.
That is quite true.
So you essentially only have like 4 days work. Then maybe Friday, sometimes some people, they like half day mood already, right?
Yeah, that's true. So, but I don't know, but I sometimes feel that there's something different. Okay, because for me, right, my schedule is usually on weekends, quite hectic one, right? Yep. But somehow, right, when you get a Monday off, right, it's just like, okay, I can sleep in a bit. I can rest a bit. I don't need to run off to do something on a Sunday morning or whichever. I can just I can just have a so you feel a bit more rested.
Yeah, correct.
So today, what we are going to talk about is what we consider the 5 most controversial football topics of the summer.
Yes.
Before we get into that, right, I think today, because there's a lot of controversy, so we will have our own very opinion. But we always begin with our what's going on, right? Because of the simple fact that we haven't done it in a while. Because all our previous episodes have been what's going on.
Yeah.
So as a whole, total in general, but I think this week it's just time to bring it back. So, bro, what is the what's going on for this week?
Bro, the moment I woke up this morning, right?
Yes.
I saw Chelsea won the Club World Cup. What was going on with that, man? I think considering the fact that PSG were strong favourites, they only considered 1 goal the entire tournament.
Yep.
Prior to this match. Yeah. So but then end up they lost the game 3-0
No, but it's funny in a way where when we've been berating Chelsea for having a deep squad, right? It's finally one of the times where having a deep squad actually pays off for them.
Yep.
In this particular situation, because players are rested enough to a point where when you go this deep into the season, right? Because technically Club World Cup is considered 24-25 season, right? They haven't officially started pre-season like Liverpool or like Preston, not all other clubs. But when we do this, considering the fact that PSG went through the whole year, right, winning the Champions League, and now having to go through all this tournament all the way, right? I'm like, okay they lose, I'm not surprised, but it's just another PSG moment to me. You get what I mean, right? You get your high, right? Then it's just PSG going back to becoming PSG.
I don't know how to explain, bro, but I think it was a very good display of performance by one player. Yeah, and it's both goals are almost identically similar.
It's Cole Palmer.
It's his signature, his signature.
No, it's Cole Palmer, right? But bro, João Pedro, again, scores.
Yeah, they were just saying 1 week ago he was on the beach.
Yes.
And then now he's scoring the Club World Cup final. So I think it's really the luxury of Chelsea, to have so many players. There's this thing about them that they can just buy a player as and when they like. It's interestingly enough, right? Even though it's so stacked already at the team, people still willing to go for this club. Yeah, so I think they did well, Liam Delap, João Pedro,
Yep.
Yeah, and then to beat PSG 3-0 in such a manner, I think is quite remarkable.
Correct. And you're talking about European champions. You're talking about a team that won the Champions League. Yeah. Versus a team that won the 3rd tier European trophy, Chelsea. So it's not to say that Chelsea is slouches, but it's just that there's a difference in the terms of where the expectation is, because you should always expect the Champions League winning team to beat the Conference League winning team, let alone the Europa League winning team.
Yeah, you just expect like the winners of the Champions League to win all the way, right?
Yep. So, in hindsight prediction, right, PSG lose to an English club. They're going to play an English club in the Super Cup. Is it going to happen again? Are they going to give Spurs their second European trophy?
I don't know, man. But if you think about it, this Chelsea earn a heck load of money.
129 million, bro.
And then you don't count the fact that they won the Conference League before that.
Yep.
On top of that, they sell some players that they already quite financially healthy, you know. So I think it's all good terms in terms of money coming in for their club.
We're going to talk about one of the players later. But the fact that they've gotten so much money coming back in, right? And the transfer window has even like come to a close, like nowhere near, right? They might add more players. Either that or they can just keep the money, right? Use it as a war chest for next year.
Yep.
And not even worry about like whether or not they are going to go over budget, because they are definitely 130 million, right? Is within FFP rules.
Incoming, just from this
incoming just from winning the tournament. Plus, you're not considering the fact that you've got the TV right, the TV sponsorship rights, plus the additional like income from any future player sales also.
And their Conference League money.
Yep, competition prize money, everything. So it's kind of interesting to see where Chelsea will go, right? But PSG dropped the ball, bro. They could have continued the Champions League and then the Club World Cup winners history, right? In the hardest format and fashion, right? And they lost.
Yeah, and this FYI, right? You know the Club World Cup logo badge?
Yep.
Chelsea will wait for 4 years. Because now the Club World Cup goes every 4 years, right? No more correct. No more annually thing. So
no, but if you wear the Club World Cup crest for 4 years, you better be in the Champions League every year. Next year they're going Europa League.
They're not, right? Yeah, correct.
They're going Europa League, so it's kind of funny, right? That the Club World Cup badge, right, is on the Europa League team.
Yeah, that's why they better qualify within the next 2 years.
Yeah. Okay, so with that completed our what's going on, we are going to move to the main part of the segment. So today, our main segment is the 5 most controversial moments of the summer so far. Paul has created a list here of what he thinks is his top 5, but I'm going to ask Paul like one question, right, bro? Is this list like from the worst to the worst of the worst, or how would you rank it, or there's no particular ranking?
I think there's no particular ranking. Maybe we can go through the 5 first, then we see which is the top 3, maybe.
Okay, maybe we can end it towards we can do that towards the end, like, instead of doing honorable mention. So, bro, to begin the list, right, what is number 1 in terms of the most controversial topics of the summer?
Let's start off with the bang, bro. Let's go for the big one. Okay, this one caught many people by surprise. I think it even caught me by surprise, like when I was on the way home, right? And then I saw this tweet by Fabrizio Romano, is that Nico Williams decided to ditch Barcelona and decided to stay at Athletic Bilbao, right?
Yep.
Yeah. For a 10-year contract. Or was it 8-year contract?
Okay, so it's an 8-year extension and then plus 2 years
current contract.
Yeah, on his current contract. So he will basically be at Barcelona until he's 22 now, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Not Barcelona, bro.
No, sorry. He'll be at he's 22 now.
No, bro. I think he's younger, bro.
Okay, so he will be at Athletic Bilbao for another 10 years, essentially.
Yeah, he's 23 years old.
Yeah, so it means that he will be here until he's 33. So
either that or someone has to buy him for like a heck load of money. Right?
No, that's the thing. So by renewing his contract, right, they actually increase his release clause.
Yeah, but that's if someone decides to buy him.
Yeah, which, I mean, if you're talking about...
Okay, yeah.
Because honestly, right, his release clause is not high. 100 million euros.
Maybe they give it a year or two to see whether...
Yep.
Yeah, but it's just that the biggest shock was because the whole entire summer they were doubting to get him already. Like, it was like the deal was already like 90% done.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think maybe he was using that as a facade to get a contract extension. I don't know.
Bro, it wasn't even that. It wasn't even like you're talking about like the summer. You're talking about like since Euros.
Like last year?
Yeah. So after the Euros, when Nico Williams and Lamine Yamal had their coming out party, right? People were saying, okay, we might put them together. So there was a deal where maybe Barcelona was thinking, okay, maybe we'll build on the future of the club. Because as much as we want that, right, Rafinha needs backup also. Or he needs like something that we can kind of contrast. So they've been in talks with Barcelona for, I think, like almost a year plus. They were even so close to saying that, okay, we are going to tidy this up. Then there was like weeks of like contact, right? Then suddenly out of nowhere, right, he left Barcelona hanging. He signs an 8-year extension with Bilbao.
That's crazy. For I think double the salary, right, or something like that.
Yeah, it's a significant increase, right? But my question to you, and I want to ask, right, is do you think this was he decided to stay at Atletico, or he was using Barcelona to get personal gain? I think that's the question. What's your opinion?
It's the latter, bro. It's the personal gain. Because I don't think Barcelona was going to give him double the salary.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if both teams are offering you the same pay, why not go for Barcelona, which is a higher status, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the chance to win La Liga and Champions League is them. Yeah, and then you get to play with your national teammate.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then build the rapport and everything, right? So if it's not that, right, if that's not enticing enough for you, right, then it has to be monetary, which is personal gain.
Yeah, I agree. Because honestly, for a player that young, right, if I'm in his shoes, right, there is no really big incentive for me to stay at Bilbao unless it's family, because his brother is on the team.
Brother is there, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
come on, man, you see your brother almost every day.
I mean, like, I don't see that, right, but Barcelona has a higher chance to win. More things.
Trophies. Yeah, correct.
More trophies. They were close to getting to the Champions League final this year. They won La Liga. So you're talking about the opportunity to win over like money. So to me it's
just money lah. I strongly feel.
Whatever he says now, right, will basically leave a question mark, because it's more like, are you in it to win or are you in it for money really?
Yeah. What if Bilbao don't win, correct, in the next like 2-3 years, you know? Then what will happen? Yeah.
Correct. So then people will question, right, was him not staying at Bilbao the right decision, or in terms of a football sense, or is he happy to go and just take the money and just get on with it?
Only he knows the answer to that question.
Yeah. It kind of feels like okay. I don't say bad, right, but it might feel a bit like a Marcus Rashford situation.
Which is what?
Which is take the money, then okay lah, I'm done, I'm set.
That's more of a Jadon Sancho, I feel. Right.
I don't know lah, dude. Like, I mean, this to me, right, this was probably the most controversial, because it's like it was more or less a done deal. Then suddenly out of nowhere, he signed a 8-year extension and making up a 10-year contract. They're like, huh?
I think in Spain, right, if there's two clubs you don't want to offend, is
Barcelona, Real Madrid.
And Real Madrid, yeah. Especially when you go and play at their home ground.
Yep. I don't think Barcelona
will happen to Nico Williams. I think the Barcelona fans will be angry.
Yep. I don't think this will continue to how to say like do well for him in the next few years lah. The only club maybe he might go to is Atletico, which is outside of the other two lah. What happens is if his performance dwindles, right, the 100 million release cost, right, doesn't seem like enticing to a lot of people already.
Yeah. Then other than that, he will ask for early termination or something, no?
Yeah, right. which basically puts Bilbao into a very tight spot lah.
Yeah.
But what to do? So that is number one. Nico Williams rejecting Barcelona and signing an 8-year extension, making him remain at the club for another 10 years. So moving on, what is number two of the most controversial topics?
I think the second one is happened recently. I think like last week, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
The one we spoke about just now, Chelsea selling their one of the players for a very, very high amount of money. I think it's Noni Madueke to Arsenal.
Yep.
Bro, can I just ask, right? Is that like a hidden like agreement between Chelsea and Arsenal? Like every year they will supply them with players.
They'll supply them with one player, right? At least one.
At least one.
At least
I don't know, man. What do you think?
To me, right, I just think that it's because they're both based in London, so it's just easier to do business. It's just like lazy. It's like just lazy business to me.
Okay, but if you were going to do that, right, why not you buy someone that's better?
Bro, how many years have we been talking about Arsenal and not understanding their transfers?
And like, if I'm not okay, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Arsenal put in a first bid of 50 million plus add-ons, and it was like accepted like immediately.
Yeah.
They didn't even like bother arguing or like negotiating, like rejecting the deal. They're like, they're willing to pay 52 million. Okay, let's take it.
Isn't that like? I mean, like technically to me, isn't that reflect? Like
from which side? Reflect from which side? Chelsea
reflect for Arsenal lah. Like to me, it's like, hey, they are willing to take over a bit for 50 million, right? Basically, you just pay for overvaluation of a player, but I don't know how much, yeah. Or like I ask you the question, right? Honestly, right? How much do you think Madueke is valued at?
20-25 million.
Based on the evaluation, it's like double.
They pay double, yeah, correct.
Yeah.
I don't know what. I'm interested to know how much they're paying him also.
I got no idea.
I really don't know what is the rationale behind it. You see, even the Arsenal fans are quite surprised by this transfer.
Yeah, there's a no to Madueke petition, right?
Too late, bro.
It begs a bigger question, right? Like, what is the mindset of the Arsenal management, or even like Arteta? Because honestly, why are you going to pay 50 million for a backup? He's not going to start over Martinelli and Saka.
I got this feeling that this Arteta, he likes to believe in his own philosophy, which is okay.
Yeah.
But he always believes that okay, make this mediocre player good. So we've seen that in that, like, he tried to buy, he got Havertz, right?
Yep.
Maybe better than he was at Chelsea. I don't know.
Yep.
Get Sterling in, fail. But then now he's getting Madueke, so I don't know. It's like the third time's a charm thing. I don't know. What do you think? I don't know. It seems like he thinks that he sees something that other people don't see.
I don't get it.
Like the fact that he's been calling him to get a striker for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and
that's
in the end,
he bought his first priority.
He bought a midfielder in Zubomendi, and he bought another winger.
And another centre back.
And like, you have an overflow of wingers on Arsenal's squad already. How many you got?
Yeah, and the midfielder is too many.
You, of all the positions you got overload, right? Bro, that 40 million you could have bought maybe with the amount of pay, let's say for example, right there, I think they talked to Madueke for maybe about 65 million for the release cost, if I'm not mistaken. 65 million, right? Plus this 40 million, 105 million, you could have gotten another backup striker.
Like you can have gotten 2 strikers, right?
Yes, you could have gotten 2 strikers. You could have taken Marcus Rashford from me, and we would gladly accept. Or you could have taken like just somebody else. Why you go and buy another winger?
I have no idea, bro. And why Madueke? Yeah, if they had bought like Eze, okay, makes sense, right?
Yes, I will agree.
Eze,
I will agree.
Maybe even Anthony Gordon, right?
Yes.
These two, maybe like still for that price tag, sure. But Madueke over Martinelli, I don't know, bro.
No, it's like the same, and he's not better than Trossard.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Madueke is a better player than Trossard.
Yeah,
that's like so accurate. Yeah, I don't know, man.
No, and like you can see the backlash right directions is like they've started vandalizing some of the murals like in North London. Arteta out. They've signed a petition no to Madueke, I think like almost 6,000, right? And then even like Rio Ferdinand, a former Manchester United like player, right, has even chimed in and said that the reaction to Madueke is vulgar. What's the point of all this uproar?
Okay, they were saying Zubomendi, okay, good signing.
Yeah.
Kepa, good signing. Potentially at that point, Eze, yes, good signing. Gyökeres, good signing. Then
Madueke.
if they add the Madueke, it will throw this entire window down the drain. Okay, imagine 52 million for Madueke.
Yeah.
If they don't even buy him, they just need to top up 13 million, you get Gyökeres.
Yeah, exactly.
Now they have to put 52 million in, and then they have to find another 65 million to buy Gyökeres.
Correct. Or you could have like, you know what you could have done? Sign Calvert-Lewin as a backup striker. Pay the money, go and use the money to go and pay Gyökeres, or like overpay for Gyökeres a bit, and then maybe use that remainder like maybe 20 plus million to go and find like
a decent half winger, that kind.
A decent half winger, or like another playmaker to go and cover Odegaard, or maybe even like just buy one more centre back.
Yep.
To give cover to
Gabriel
to Gabriel and
Saliba.
And Saliba, right? Because you also lost Tomoyasu. Right?
Yep. Correct.
So there's so much more other needs you needed than another winger.
And you go like almost all in your money on this.
Correct. So
yeah, so there's another biggest like what's going on. I not say what's going on, like controversial moment of the season so far.
Yes. So I agree with this. Let's move on to the next one. What is the third most controversial moment of the summer so far?
Crystal Palace not making Europa League.
Yes.
After winning the FA Cup.
Yes.
As we all know, like the FA Cup is a golden ticket for you to make it to Europa League.
Yep.
Right. That's what a lot of teams have been doing lah. But apparently Crystal Palace didn't make it due to some rule, and they got demoted to the Conference League. Right.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think a bit hard done if you were Crystal Palace.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Because honestly, I think the Europa League now is it's a more prestigious tournament than it was like maybe 10 years ago.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
Just due to the competitive nature of the European football clubs. So, Conference League now is still a bit iffy to us, Like,
it is lah.
It's like the second league.
It's like Conference League is the teams that didn't have a chance in the Europa League, then they go to Conference League.
Yep.
So like that's where they qualify under, right? But I don't know, I find this a bit stupid because like Palace earn their rights to basically compete in this tournament. Because it's clear cut, if you win the FA Cup and you're not in a Champions League spot, right? You get the right to go to the second tier of European football, which is the Europa League lah. Yep. Which I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you're winning the FA Cup, right, that's the expectation that you're gonna get.
Yeah.
Right. Especially
it's more incentive for you to go and win it, right?
Correct. Which is basically what United did. United won it the year before, then they ended up in the Europa League, which is fine, which is fair. However, right, because of UEFA's dumb multi-club ownership rules, right, whereby the rule is that clubs with the same ownership group cannot play in the same competition. So the other team question is Lyon and Crystal Palace. So Lyon is under John Textor. He has a stake in Lyon and he has a stake in Crystal Palace. However, he does not have an influence at Crystal Palace.
He just owns a share.
Just owns a shares or whichever, right? But he has a bit more influence at Lyon. The thing is that the UEFA's ruling on this, right, is so stupid because they said that in their rule, any conflicts of interest for the following season had to be settled by 1st of March. Bro, in March, right, they are in the middle of the FA Cup. How is he going to know that Crystal Palace is going to win the FA Cup at the end of the season?
So it's like you have to, in a way, declare first and then hope your team won't qualify. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have to declare and then, okay, my team most likely won't win the FA Cup. So, but then what could go went super well for them. Until he had this problem where he realized that, if Crystal Palace win the thing, then, they have to sacrifice one team, right? If I'm not wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe he sees it as like, okay, even if Crystal Palace don't make Europa League, a Conference League is still good because their league position, they are not even going to qualify for the Conference League based on their league position. So I think to them that's the bare like the what you call it, the silver lining of this. Like they still get something out of it. It's just that it's not the tournament that was promised.
That's one, right? But the other is that as a Palace like supporter or like fan, you would just feel they're very hard done by.
Yeah, it's like not even my problems, right? It's like
correct. It's like, why am I getting myself into this problem? This is not even my issue. Like, I deserve the right to go into like the league, right? But I'm gonna ask you, right? Like, should there be changes in rules regarding this or not? Because I can foresee one potential issue happening with us already.
Yeah, last time we had, right? Man U and Nice, is it?
Yeah, Man U and Nice, because both under Ineos group.
I think if it comes to that point, right? Like if let's say in this event, Lyon and Crystal Palace, then I feel that the owner has to make a declaration or something. Like I have maybe for this campaign, I have no direct say over both teams.
Yeah.
But it's tough because surely more you're invested in one team more than the other.
Yeah.
So I'm not very sure how to go about
I
this.
think right the biggest thing with UEFA also is that I just want to add before we move on to the next point, right, is that UEFA says that any change of ownership structure, right, has to be settled by the 1st of March before the next season. So meaning that technically Textor had to give up ownership of one club to go to the other. So it ends up, right, like if Jim Ratcliffe were to be in this position, right, I mean technically if you like Lyon versus Crystal Palace, you would probably stick to Lyon lah.
Yeah, but if they are relegated now, then
it's a different story lah. But technically, they cleared the FFP, then they're staying in League One, But if it's United, I mean, technically speaking, he would pick United lah, because of value, right?
Your golden goose, right?
Yeah, but let's just not think about it, right? Because I think at the end of the season, it's probably going to happen if United actually live up to expectation, then they qualify for a Champions League spot, which I don't have a lot of hope. I don't have a lot of hope. One signing in the off-season. So, moving on, I think Palace not making the Europa is a bit sad.
Yeah.
I feel
it's a bit controversial for sure. Because it's quite big news.
Yeah, I agree. So, moving on, bro. What is item number 4? Okay,
so item number 4 and 5, right? Yeah, 4 and 5 is interlinked. So, I'm going to put like club drama between a few clubs. Okay, so... Let's talk about Juventus first. Okay. Juventus actually quite messy. They chose to terminate some players' contracts.
Yep.
I think Vlahovic is one of them. from what we see and what we know of him as a player, is like,
Yeah.
oh wow, they're giving up such a good player, But
Yeah.
maybe there are certain underlying issues that we don't know of, maybe
Yeah.
work ethic, or like maybe issues with the club, between club and player. So we don't really know. But the fact that they are really willing to terminate his contract,
Yep.
I think it's quite a big news lah. It's definitely a big drama.
Okay, I was looking at it because the manager feels that one thing is that they just changed manager.
Yep.
So Igor Tudor just basically took over from Lazio. He was at Lazio last year, right? So the understanding was that because Vlahovic has only 1 year left on his contract, which is until at the end of 25-26, so he's got 1 more year. They don't mind doing an early termination, right? Because the manager doesn't want him there. Yeah, so it's more to do with, from what I understand, that Igor Tudor just has no plans to fit him inside his regime or his scheme.
It's like they don't even bother selling him. They just release.
I mean, like to be really frank, like I don't think any player, right, within 1 year left of the contract, right, like you want to pay 20 million for Vlahovic, right, which is what is the expectations of like the fee. So it maybe 20 to 25 million. I think that's, even for that, right, that's overpriced.
But they could rather just sell on cheap rather than having to pay the severance. You get what I mean?
Yeah, I understand.
It's like you can sell for like 5 million. You still earn 5 million rather than like you have to pay the severance fee.
Yeah, but you must.
Maybe
remember.
maybe you don't know that. Maybe the managers like just wants him out like immediately. That you're not in my immediate plan, so let's go.
But you must remember, they earn money already, right, from Club World Cup participation.
Juventus.
Yep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but still every penny saved is still money saved.
Yep. So, and they took Jonathan David on a free. So
they're paying like the severance fee for Jonathan David.
Yeah, they're paying the severance fee for Jonathan David, right? But they're not really doing anything much. So to them, right, if I'm going to release Vlahovic out of the contract, I'm not going to make any money. I'm not going to lose any money.
Yeah, it's like they will just want him out now, right?
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Because as much as you want to say it, right, I think that knowing the fact that they had that money coming in at 30 million base already, right, for the fact that they're going to compete in the Club World Cup, right, already changes a lot of things. So they can afford to lose a player. You get what I mean, right?
True, maybe nobody in the market who really wants him.
Yeah.
It's like reality. Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, it's 20 million for a striker of that valuation only playing Syria. It's not a great valuation also you want also. But he's always been a striker that has been under the radar compared to everybody else. Like, I mean, you're talking about world strikers that people want now, right? It's Sesko and Gyökeres, ma. So it's like everybody wants Sesko and Gyökeres. Why would I want to pay for Vlahovic?
Vlahovic, yeah, correct. And then like the next few is like Lautaro Martinez,
Yes.
Julian Alvarez, all this. Like Vlahovic is not really the priority of many teams lah.
Yes, I agree. Also because he's big size, so the pace is not his strong suit.
Not his strong suit. Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
So I say a bit messy lah. Usually you don't see Juventus like doing this to players,
Yeah, I agree. Like Juventus has always been like loyalty.
Loyalty to they're quite loyal to the players.
Yeah.
It's just like maybe a new regime and things change lah.
And a manager that wants what he wants lah.
Yep.
So I mean, you got Jonathan David, right? Why do I need Vlahovic? I think that this is basically essentially the thing lah. So, Juventus, there's links to United also lah.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about it. So we just go to the fifth point. Okay, so with Juventus, there's United's drama also. So I think United's drama is mainly Amorim just told a few of them not to come back for training until the end of July, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like Rashford, Sancho, Garnacho, and Anthony.
Yeah,
bro, that's your 4 wingers.
Yep.
Right. That's like 4 of your wingers in a parallel universe. This 4 will start for any team.
Yep.
Yeah, and then, yes, correct. So Juventus are actually in talks to sign Jadon Sancho.
Yes.
But for a ridiculous fee, bro.
I think like less than 10 million, right?
8 million, bro.
8 million.
Because I think they take the wage into account. Yeah, so if we are going to pay his wage, then his transfer fee will be lower.
And basically they want the severance.
He wants a severance or
he wants a severance
from United.
Yeah, so it means that United
but if United sell him to Juventus, then don't need to pay severance. I
know. So essentially, right, if they're taking that, right, basically United only make maybe about 4 million Or for Jadon Sancho, which basically for what we paid for him, right?
crazy.
Versus what thing is like basically I take it as a free transfer already. Like basically Juve wins from this. So
They always win from us, bro.
I mean, there's talks about like Douglas Luiz on a swap deal, but I think that's not going to happen.
Yeah, I see. There are certain players that go there, right? Then you don't know what happened to them because Douglas Luiz was like lighting up the EPL, you know.
Yep.
And maybe he goes there, then maybe the attitude don't match the team.
Yep.
Yeah, but if you can get players out of the Jadon Sancho deal, I'm all for it, man. You really rather take 4 million or take Douglas Luiz?
Bro, I take Douglas Luiz, bro.
Yeah. Proven in the EPL. He has Brazilian friends with him, Casemiro and Cunha, right?
Yep.
So why not?
But knowing United, right, I think they're just going to
just take the money. Yeah.
They're probably just going to take the money. Right? Then there are rumours that Douglas Luiz might be going to West Ham.
Wow. What a... yeah.
It's such a Man United thing, bro. Like, I mean, this is what it is, right? So I don't know, dude. Like, controversy is.
Actually, it's not really controversy. I think it's more of a controversy in a least expected way. It's like we all knew something was going to happen, but do you really think that he will say, "Okay, y'all don't come back"? No, right? Maybe you will think like, okay, they will come back, but they will be separated in training, which means this Amorim don't even want them near and the squad at all.
No, which begs the question, right? Because Garnacho was allowed to rejoin teammates. So what is the stance on Garnacho?
Okay, the only thing I can think of, right, is Garnacho is wanted by teams because of his low salary.
Yeah, I think Napoli is looking at it.
Apparently, he wants to stay in EPL, you know. I think the reason why they want him to come back is so that the valuation don't drop too much.
Yep.
Whereas Rashford, Sancho, Anthony are all on high wages, right?
Yep.
Their value will not drop as much, you know. They're just not trying to make a loss too much. And they're not trying to make too much of a loss on Garnacho, I feel.
Yep.
They're still trying to make as big of a profit as they can. Yeah.
Yep.
So I think if 40, 50 million would be good.
I think also because they have no intention of renewing Sancho's contract, which is like going to expire maybe like, I think if I'm not wrong, next season or towards the end of next season. So it's like, I would rather just take the 8 million, get him off my books, remove all that money from the transfer wages. Fees, right? The wages, right? Then I can shift them over to somebody else. Okay, so looking overall at this list, right? I kind of do agree with I think these are the main topics, which are Nico Williams rejecting Barcelona, Madueke going to Arsenal, Crystal Palace not making the Europa League despite winning the FA Cup, and then the club drama between United for Juventus and for Manchester United. Okay, I think let's just do a quick one, right? Which is the worst of the 5?
I think Juventus and Man United lah. I think
it's worse than Nico Williams.
They're not really the worst, as in the top most controversial or
the most controversial,
the least controversial.
Most controversial.
Oh, then definitely, bro, Nico Williams, bro. Confirm, bro.
I agree, I don't disagree also. I think it's the most controversial, right? Like topic. Even though it may not be his intention, right? But people put him in a selfish category already.
I don't know, man.
Like high
It'll
level.
just be interesting to see, like what will happen next season.
Yeah, I mean, like let's just see, right? Like, I'm gonna say this, like football without controversy is not football.
Yep.
So yes, so let's see. So with that, bro, you got anything else to add?
I think that's it. I think some teams are already starting preseason, so I think quite interesting. Yeah, it's like so fast.
Liverpool beat Preston. Yeah, and then United, I think they are gonna start next week. The first few games.
Yeah, so I think as the Club World Cup comes to a close, some teams are already starting preseason. So let's see how it goes, lah. I think
can
we slowly get into the groove of football back again.
Yeah, and then the first game is United Arsenal. Always riled up in this controversy. Okay, so with that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki. Alright, so that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you continue to watch our other shows, which are the Copy Bros every Monday, where we have fun interviews lined up for you. And if you do like game shows, we do have the SG Draft Podcast every Friday, where we come together and draft about different topics and have fun while we do it. Don't forget, you can actually vote for your favorite teams on the SG Draft every Friday on our Instagram stories, and voting closes on a Saturday, so you have the power to decide who wins and who loses. So with that, bro, I think we are good. It's just gearing up for the remainder of the EPL season, really lah. Like Club World Cup is, I think the next season is officially begun with the conclusion of the Club World Cup. So, anything else to add?
No, bro. I think let's enjoy the week and then let's see how it goes. Hopefully more news will come.
Yeah, correct. So, okay, just before we go, don't forget to like and subscribe to the Chit Chatter Podcast Network here on YouTube. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we do have our socials information in the description below. So, with that, from me and Paul, from the Football Kaki, have a great week ahead. See you soon. Bye-bye.